everyone. Welcome to Mission to Inspire. My name is Shola, and I'm joined today by our special guest. His name is Rick Orlando's. Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Shola. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Right. So I know you've had an extraordinary journey. And despite all that, you became a global influencer. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'll just let you introduce yourself. So tell us a little bit more about you.
So I am a executive business advisor, a best-selling author, and the founder of iSpark Change. And I help individuals elevate their social impact and spread positive change around the world and uh, level up in all areas of life and business. I've been doing that. I founded iSpark Change in 2020, at the end of 2020, after I went through a lot of changes, which I'm sure we'll discuss here on the show. And then prior to that, I had worked in corporate for about 20 years and had worked for a few startups and had been a professional business coach and advisor for many years prior to diving into iSpark Change. I'm a father, uh, happily married for 28 years, a father of three wonderful girls who are all grown now, and my family is the most important thing in my life, my family and my faith, for sure.
Right, right. When you say your faith, um, you're a Christian, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for telling us more about you. So I'm just gonna go straight in and ask the questions. And I hope
Of
you're
course.
so. Can you tell us more about the moment in 2020 that served that served as a wake-up call and transformed your life's mission?
Yes. So as far as what really happened in 2020 is that when the pandemic started and we went into quarantine and lockdown, I started becoming anxious and fearful and unsure of what the future held. And that was a very uncomfortable place for me because I'm someone that likes to maintain control of, that illusion of control that we all feel that we have. And so it was a very difficult time because as I said, I was anxious and afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had lost most of my clients and didn't know where I was going to, generate any revenue for my business to pay my mortgage, feed my family. And as I became more fearful, then I realized that, I needed to do something about it. And I decided to focus on what I could control and focus on others rather than myself, because I knew that there were many other people that were far worse off than I was, and people that were struggling, and um, people were dying. I mean, people were having a difficult time. So I said, I need to focus on helping others. So I started volunteering. I started helping others. I started being grateful and looking for ways to support my community. And then I decided to write in a way to inspire others to use the time wisely, because I saw a lot of people that were using the time to sit on their couch and watch Netflix and eat and drink and not really do anything. And so I really wanted to share that, it was a time to become better, a time to learn something, a time to grow and improve yourself. And so I wrote a blog about that. And then it reminded me of a story that had been in my head for over 20 years. And I decided to write, and that story became my book, 12 Hours of Heaven, Lessons for a Better World. And in writing that book, I really went through a period of spiritual awakening and a period of deeper understanding of God and myself. And that's where the idea for iSpark Change was born. And that set me on the whole journey with iSpark Change after that.
Talking about your book, what's the title of it?
12 Hours of Heaven Lessons for a Better World.
Right. So, Lessons for a Better World, 12 Hours of Heaven, Lessons for a Better World. So, during such a tremendous time, I'm sure you wrote this book. How did you overcome the challenges that you faced? And I'm sure you translated those into the book.
Yes, I did, Shola, because a part of the I wanted to inspire in others with writing the book,
Mm,
and writing the book was a very healing journey for myself. So in writing, in many ways, writing the book I was the one that had the biggest transformation of anyone in writing the book. You know, anyone that would read my book, I mean, as far as I know, I had the biggest transformation in writing it,
mhm,
and I I learned to again focus on things that would make myself better and those around me better. Things like gratitude or forgiveness or faith or being present.
mhm.
Um, and as I focused on all these things, that really had a healing effect for me. And it also was able to, inspire others at the same time.
Right, right, right. Can you share some insights or lessons from the book? And
Sure.
okay, share those first, and I'm gonna ask you another question about your upcoming book because I know you have an upcoming book.
Yes, thank you for asking. So there's 10 lessons in 12 Hours of Heaven. And these are things that, the original inspiration for the book was being in a major car accident when, 20 years prior. And at the time, I wrote myself what I called a to-do list for every day, um, things that I wanted to focus on to make myself better. And
Mhm.
those became the foundation for the lessons in the book. So um, some of the my favorite lessons from the book are, to have faith, things that were important to me, have faith, forgiveness, gratitude, to
Yeah.
be present in all situations,
Mhm.
um, to uh, to know that, and those are some of the titles or chapters. Some of the deeper lessons are to know that um, any situation is an opportunity for growth. In any situation, no matter, good or bad, they're all opportunities that we can learn and grow from.
Mm.
And these are things that I had learned on my journey throughout those 20 years, and they're things um, that I wanted to use to help inspire others in their own journeys as well.
Right. Let's talk about your accident. When was this accident? When did you have that?
So yeah, that my accident it would have been around the year 2000. Um, and I was, living in Southern California with my wife and um, our young family at the time. We had our two daughters at the time,
Right.
and um, and then we had gone down, driven a couple hours south of where we lived to go to a children's birthday party.
Mhm.
And on the way home, it started to rain really hard, and we're driving on the freeway, and a lot of cars had pulled over because it was really bad. And we decided to continue on because it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday afternoon, evening. It was getting late. We didn't want it to get dark. We needed to get the kids home. So we continued on slowly, and I hit a large puddle and lost control of the vehicle. And we started spinning out of control, and we spun across 4 lanes to the left, and we were about to hit the center divider, and we didn't. And then miraculously, we started spinning the other direction, and we spin 4 lanes going the other way, and we go, off the shoulder up a dirt embankment, and we hit a wall and we flip over completely and land back on the wheels.
Jesus. Hmm.
And yeah, crazy. And miraculously, Shola, we were all completely unharmed. The car was completely totaled. The windshield was shattered. The glass was shattered on the side. The roof was smashed down to here. And we, none of us had a scratch. My kids were fine. They were asleep and they had woken up and they were crying, but they were completely unharmed.
Jesus.
And in witnesses, said it was the most incredible thing they had ever seen, and they thought we were, killed or seriously injured. And as we crawled out, and my wife, grabbed my daughters and was sitting on the side of the road in the rain, pouring rain, holding them and thanking God. And I didn't realize the gravity of how bad it was until, a few days later when I went back and saw the car, and the person where they had the car where they had towed it off to, he thought, that we were killed. And I went through a real intense period of reflection where I realized that, something very special had happened, and that we were very fortunate to be alive.
Oh my. Oh my. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my Jesus. Oh my God. Ah, I don't know what to say, but for you to be alive, unharmed, not even a scratch, yourself, your wife, and kids, that is miraculous. From the way you described the extent of the accident, it could have been, very grievous. But we thank God you're here today talking to us on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, so tell us about your upcoming book.
So my upcoming book, 12 Hours of Heaven, Time on Earth, is a follow-up to the original. So in the original, an angel is sent down from earth to heaven, or from heaven to earth. His name is Ezra, and he finds himself trapped in an elevator with 10 individuals, 10 strangers, and they don't know he's an angel, and they're trapped overnight for 12 hours. And during the period of time that they're trapped together, he's able to help them with the biggest challenges that they're each facing in their lives.
Wow.
And during that time, those are the lessons that they learn, during the time. Well, um, I don't want to give, away too much of how it ends, the original book. In the second book, it's a follow-up of time after they're out of the elevator. So the original book takes place when they're trapped in the elevator. This is the time after they get out of the elevator.
Right.
And it really focuses on, a deeper understanding of the characters, and then a deeper understanding of the lessons that they've learned.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. So it's a follow-up from the original, the 12 Hours of Heaven. Um, so the original one, which is already out, which is the 12 Hours of Heaven Lessons for a Better World, and that's a follow-up on that.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Let's talk about something else that you do, which is your coaching. Uh,
Sure.
yeah, I spark change. Let's talk.
Yes, thank you for asking. So in my coaching, I've coached in many different ways throughout my life, Shola. I mean, I coached in sports and athletics when I was younger, and coached in CrossFit for many years, not long ago.
Yeah.
And in how I had always been a coach. And what I realized when I was working in the corporate world and in organizations, was that I was being a coach in those roles. And so when I left all that, I decided to start my own coaching and consulting business. And I really focus on helping individuals to grow and to evolve. And because of my experience, how that translates into growing their business or growing their organization, or whatever they're a part of. So
Yeah.
I've coached over 200 individuals for the past 8.5 years,
Mm,
and everyone that I've worked with, my focus has always been on helping them to become a better version of themselves, and then how that impacts others,
Right.
how they impact others.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Hmm.
So you've used all the lessons that you've learned and the challenges that you've overcome. You're using that now to coach people to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is so interesting. So in your
Yeah,
journey,
that's the goal.
in your journey
Yeah.
from feeling isolated, yeah, and hopeless many years ago to becoming a beacon of a positive change, because that's what you're doing now, coaching others, writing books that could influence us and make us better. What has been the most surprising lesson that you've learned about human resilience and intercontinentalism?
The biggest thing I've learned from myself is that I would say it's an excellent question, Shola. And I would say that the biggest thing that I had learned is that I need to keep learning, that I need to keep growing, that I'm never finished, that I'm always going to have to um, grow and learn and
Yeah.
evolve and adapt.
Mhm.
And I think, in especially I've been working on this for years, but especially since then,
Mhm.
I've become far more self-aware of where my strengths are, where my weaknesses are, where my opportunities lie, and how I need to tackle those. And so that's what I seek to do every day, is just to continue to develop myself and in turn have a bigger impact on others.
Right. Well, you're already having big impact on the people that you work with.
Hmm.
Um, so that's great. Do you
Yeah,
have
thank you.
any advice that you want to give anyone out there?
I'd say the biggest advice I could give anyone is that one, what I just shared, that you always want to be learning, you always want to grow, you always want to continue to expand who you are.
Yeah.
And then the other piece of advice that I give everyone, and I've done a lot of these interviews and I give the same advice every time. The other advice is that everyone can make a difference. Everyone has the ability
Right.
to impact the world in a positive way. And no matter who you are, no matter how small you may think you are, like I did, you're too small to make a difference,
Yeah.
that one can impact positively each day and interact in a positive way will the ripple effect goes far and change the world.
Difference have effect on the world. Johnny, we are starting joint life experience journey. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks so much, fella. God bless.
Before we go, before you say goodbye, where can we see your brand? How contact want to contact next?
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking. The best place for the is on Amazon and Kindle and also on Play. And as far as connect me, they to rickornelas.com, RICKORNELAS to connect social on every.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining today. And time to read and subscribe if you haven't done so. Like, follow, comment. Until next time. Goodbye.